Okay, I'm back. So I'm gonna start with it's actually really just one improvement and then a couple ways to maybe do it and then a issue that I got while testing prod stuff. So let me go to the issue first actually. So that was in util. What was it? There's a part that says it's the resample part. It's here. So this is 15, let me check that. Calculation time per minutes. 15, yeah. So this is, oops, let me go back there. This is gonna say 15T. I did get a warning in when I was running the program. It's basically says future warning. T is deprecated and will be removed in a future version. Please use min. So I'm not going to change it right now, but that T should actually be a MIN, lowercase. So 15 MIN. So yeah, that's that. And then other thing was just wanted to talk about in Scanner. So the way I'm doing it right now, it works. It works okay. It's probably not ideal where I'm doing this sleep for 1 second thread basically that just polling this file. What really should happen, I think, is there's a few ways that are much better than that. One of them is just using a file watcher library. Some of them work on the polling concept, some of them work into like your operating system event system. So that would probably be better. Um, Another thing you could do, everything else or all the suggestions basically are based on events. One thing you could do is use a database. I think we looked at before in another video. Postgres has a way for telling you when values change in a database. That's one way you can connect to a database. Another way is you could use pipes. Um, I don't know if that's the best option, but let me just show you like what that might look like. Simple example of two Python programs communicating through pipes. Is that it? I feel like it's not quite what I was thinking, but anyways. So that's something you could look into. I think there's other ways you do that. You can do that too. Um, get the pipe file descriptor. Okay. Anyways, and then the last thing I can think of that I think would be the best solution would be to use a HTTP local server. The latency would be very low because it's local, and yeah, so you'd basically just set up a server, and then when an event happens, it'll write to a file maybe also, but it could also just send this get calculations that runs every 15 minutes and saves to a file, and then the scanner that's watching for changes in that file, instead of doing that, the get calculations can just send an event through the HTTP server that can be read by the scanner, which is running an HTTP server basically, or something like that. So that's one way to improve this. Maybe I'll do that at some point in the future. We'll see. And then obviously another thing for improvements, which I talked about before, would be to look at the um, or to finish what I was working on with the actual simulator part of the thing where it doesn't have not the production part, but like when you're testing, where it goes minute or second by second and simulates the market data coming through. So at some point, maybe I'll go over that too. Just don't have time to go over that right now, but yeah. And the last thing I want to do is show just a task scheduler example. So This is for Windows. In Linux, you would probably just use, and I think maybe even Mac. So most servers you'd be running Linux. Um, and hold on one second. Give me 1 second. Let me load this up. Um, okay. So, I'll just show simple. How do I use cron tab to set a timed event that occurs every 15 minutes? So it'd be something like this. And if you need to set the beginning part at a specific time, you could do all that with this. And that can be done with Linux. So that's that. But I'm going to show task scheduler. So I have this script that is where's my get ignore, by the way? Oh, there it is. So okay, I have this script that is basically a CMD. You could also use a BAT file. I think they both work basically the same. And what this is it's calling this activate um, script that is in a Python virtual environment. Um, and that way you can have all your requirements installed in that environment, and there's no issues with like the global, if something gets installed globally or whatever. So that makes sure it activates the environment. You could also use Anaconda or whatever, different ways to do that, but this is one way. So basically I can create an environment, Python -m virtual environment. I usually just call it venv, but you can call it whatever. Why is that? Doesn't let me do that for some reason. Python. What's going on here? Oh, this is weird. Is it because? Oh, there we go. So in these environments I have here are from Anaconda, but say I just wanted to have a very lightweight, or at least I think it's lightweight environment. It's built into Python. You could do -m, and then this is a folder where it would save it. I usually just save it something called venv to match, or to be to match other stuff I've done, just so it's consistent. And that creates a folder here, which then has a bunch of files that you want to add to your git ignore. So I'll actually do that. Let's just make a commit really quick called nah, I'll wait. I'll include this in the next commit. Okay. So um and then you have this virtual environment. You can enable it by going source venv scripts activate. And that runs a since this is git bash, it runs like a bash script. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but we could look at it, or you could look at it if you want. It's in here. So it would run the one I just ran, I believe, is that. And then if you ran it from Windows, like command prompt, it would run this. If you ran it from PowerShell, it would run that and whatever. Okay, so, and they all basically do the same thing, which is activate the environment, set some environment variables, etc. Um, and then, so that's activated. So that's what this part of the script does. So make sure it gets activated. and then it will run the script Python. It'll run get calculations. So and you need to make sure, it's pretty important to make sure those are absolute paths, or you'll probably run into some issues with Task Scheduler. That's important. So I'm just going to do an example here. I'll just say test script.py. We'll say test script or example. Or how about this task scheduler example py. And this is going to with open, or no, sorry, with open task scheduler example dot text, example output dot text, write mode as fp file pointer p dot write working, and then we could put like the date time dot time, or I mean a timestamp. Okay. And then this needs to be an F string, and we need to combine these. I always do that like a console log, but it's not. Like this and like that. And we'll import time. Okay. So there's that. And then let's just try to run it really quick, make sure it's working. So we'll run Python task scheduler example, and it just creates this file that has, here, let's do append mode, and we'll do /n, or no, we'll do it at the end. Oh, and then in Windows you have to do /r/n carriage return and then line feed or whatever. All right, cool. So there's that. So you can see that working. And again, on some of these, you can just run these with like, Python, have the schedule command running. I'm just worried sometimes if it like crashes on something that it wouldn't crash on if you ran it again. I'd rather have it running on this consistent schedule with the built-in operating system stuff rather than a Python program. Obviously, there's programs like PM2 and stuff you can use to make sure if your program crashes, it reloads. Um, but yeah, so let's see here. Task scheduler example. Yeah, we won't commit that. But let me set this up so you can go in here and you could send or create a basic task. So you just load up, or not basic task, sorry, create task. And if you do task scheduler in the Windows search at the bottom, it'll just pop up. Okay, you can name it test task. And then, so this option here, run only when the user is logged in. So this will actually run in the foreground, which if it's something that runs every minute or 15 minutes or whatever, you probably don't want that because it just pops up like a command line window and then it goes away. It's kind of annoying. So if you use this option here, it actually runs it in the background. It would seem that you would use hidden, but I forgot what um, let me just ask ChatGPT. In Windows, task scheduler, how to run in background. Forgot what the, yeah, yeah. Whether user is logged in or not. What about the hidden option? What's that? Oh, maybe you could just do hidden. hidden versus other way. That's not what I meant. I don't care that much. Anyways, maybe you could do hidden. I actually haven't tried that, but I know this will run in the background. And also run if the user is logged in or not. So there's that. This every time if you have this selected, every time you make a change, you have to put in the password, which is kind of annoying. So when you're just setting it up, even if you're going to end up doing this, I would keep this set, and then at the end you could do that. I always configure it for the latest operating system. I'm not sure if that matters, but let's set Windows 10. And again, I'm going to leave this for now so I don't have to keep entering the password. Onto triggers. So you can do, I'll just say daily, recur every day. Let's say start at 5 a.m. You could say 2 seconds after, which is what I do a lot on some of the stuff to make sure it has the data in the API, like the Polygon API, just to make sure it doesn't get like the previous data. So I go 1 or 2 seconds past. Repeat every, you could say, it looks like you have limited options here, but any of these you could actually make it a different amount by just typing it in. So if you type 1 minute, that would work, and just leave it as it is and just type the number. You could do like something like 375 minutes, whatever. So all that works and it will adjust for the duration of, and then you could say how long you want to run. So for example, um, I think you might even be able to do decimal points, but I don't know. So it's up to you what you do there. And then I'm gonna say repeat task every 1 minute for a duration of 15 minutes for now. Um, I usually think it's a good idea to check this so it doesn't, like if your task is still running at the end of it, make sure it stops it at the last iteration. Stop task if it runs longer than. I always just set this, I leave it to 3 days, but really you should probably do a max time your task should run and set that. Um, and then expire, most of the stuff I have, I don't have an expiration, and of course I have it enabled. There's that, and you can set multiple triggers. You could set it to like make sure it runs when you log on, I think is an option. You could set it the way we have it here. Anyways, I'm gonna leave that for now. And then you have to select an action. I just got a warning when I hit OK that I needed an action. All the stuff I do is start a program. So you could, if you're just starting out, you could do echo just to set it up really quick, but we already have a program. And then that is in, here, let me pull it up over here. Users, Mat2, or no, is it in Mat2? No, it's actually in here. Um, in here, I'm just finding the path. So it's actually task scheduler example, run get calculations. And then you basically always want to control A, take the whole path and put start in and there, and then erase the command part and just get the folder. And this is really important for relative paths, and I'll show what I'm talking about. Or I'll just explain what I'm talking about. Basically, if you don't do the start in and you have this relative path, this is a relative path, not an absolute path, it'll save it. I forget where it works out of, and could cause all kinds of issues. So just make sure that you have this set to where you want the program to like start in, which is usually just the same folder as the command thing, but it could be different. Okay, hit OK. And hit OK. There was a couple other things there. Let's look at those. I usually don't mess with those. Allow tasks to be run on demand. I usually leave that, and that's where you can just right click on this and hit run, just to test it out. Because you want to test it out and make sure it's running as this thing would run it, and make sure there's no issues. You could do that. You could do that, I guess. I usually just leave this as is. I usually leave that as is. I usually don't check that, and then I usually do not start a new instance because I don't want multiple running. It might cause some issues. History, I don't know what that is. And then conditions. I usually don't mess with this at all, but I usually uncheck this, and I think it doesn't matter if you uncheck that or not, as long as you have this unchecked. And then up to you if you want to do this. So yeah, there we go. And all you have to do to test it out is you click run. So I'm just going to show that really quick. That should add a line here. So if I click run, there was an error actually. So I got an error. It popped up really quick and there's some error. So what I can do is run this in to troubleshoot this. Go to Reveal in File Explorer. Open a command prompt here. I guess I could just do it from here, but whatever. CMD, new command prompt, and I type run get, and see what the error is. Oh, run? What? Oh, just that. Python was not found. Python was not found. Python was not found. Is this not working? Well, let me check this. Oh, right. I forgot to actually set this path. So let's get the path. Grab that. Copy. Um, and then paste in here. Path to simulator. Or venv. And then there. So let's try that again. It should work this time. Oh, right. Let's just try to run this. No such file or directory. Simulator test script.py. Oh, right, because I named it something else. So let's go here, get the name, and paste it into here. Okay, there we go. Try one more time. There we go. It seems to work. That should have ran too, so it should have something in this file, and it does. Okay. And then we can deactivate or just close it. It doesn't matter. Okay. Back to this. Let's try to run this, and we should see another thing. And there it is. So now that's working. So now to run on a timer, let's just show how that works. And if you ever want to get rid of these, you can temporarily disable them, re-enable them, delete them. You can, I think, even export them. And then triggers. So let's just set this to a time 408. 408 runs every minute. Just click that really quick. Ah, I just missed it. Oh my gosh. All right, let's do 408:30. I think I can make that in time. If I go quick, let's do 35. Boom, boom. So it should run in a few seconds. And we should, like, I have it to where it pops up the window, but again, you can have the option to not do that, which I recommend for stuff running often or period. Okay, and there it is. It just ran. So that's Task Scheduler, just an example. Um, and again, just make sure if you're using the relative paths, which you most of the time will be using, that you let me delete this. That you put the start in to the folder that you're working with, so it works correctly. So let's close this. Delete this file. Delete. And I will do that and revert this. I will actually name this though. the correct name. So path2 and then path2. So yeah, that's how to set that up. Thanks for watching.